This is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your dead man walking, your dead man on campus. And welcome to season 5 of Happened in the 90s.
Go to hell, Steve.
No, don't. I can't believe it, dude. Season 5, dude.
Season 5.
We're about to be syndicated like fucking Roseanne and shit.
5-5, man. Thank you to our faithful 5 who consistently watch our show and listen to our show.
Yeah. Yeah. We know you're out there. And we're at whatever insane asylum or halfway house that you're in. God bless.
Today, my friend, we're talking all things January 2nd in the 90s. Starting off in 1990, Roseanne is airing season 2, episode 13, Chicken Hearts. Roseanne tries to improve her relationship with her teenage boss by inviting him home for dinner.
This would be a nightmare. This would never happen. I don't know why you would do this, but this would be my nightmare. And I actually had to kind of live with this where you have like a young person as your boss. I don't know if you ever had to deal with something like that, but it ain't easy, Steve.
Oh, yeah, man. And I wanted to get on this episode, man, because this shows the essence of Roseanne. And like, I think the lore that attracted most of America at this time, man, in 1990. This was, I think, number one sitcom in America.
I mean, she was everywhere, Steve. She was Michael Jackson for a minute, you know?
Cosby Show, they were still killing it. But, Roseanne, they were climbing the charts, man. And I don't know if it was at this time they were number one, but eventually they would be the number one sitcom.
One weird thing that I didn't know about this when I was looking at the credits, did you know that writer Joss Whedon, who was like the director of a couple Avengers movies, wrote for this show?
Yeah.
It's so fucking, I mean, that's that's awesome, but it's bizarre.
So was Norm Macdonald for like a hot second.
That's amazing. We need to find those episodes and see what those are all about.
R.I.P. to that legend.
It's crazy. But yeah, Roseanne was fucking huge, dude. Everybody loved it. They tapped into like that white trash, like not white trash, but it was just basically like normal people. You know, they weren't showing some luxurious lifestyle. Everyone hated each other. They were all kind of ugly. They were, it wasn't the beautiful shit like step by step shit where everyone's like a model and fucking, the worst thing that is like their fridge broke or some shit.
Yeah, every woman coming down the stairs is delicious looking, and they were. They really were.
Right. You're true. Especially right near the end, Steve. You're right. It was like just goddamn the DNA of that family is fantastic.
Yeah, and I think the Connors, they were relatable, man. They were working class, and it wasn't your typical sitcom. Like it was a break from the norm, because Cosby Show, the big gripe a lot of people had with that show is that it wasn't relatable. Like the mom is a lawyer, the dad is a doctor, they're affluent, kids are going to college, and they got a nice brownstone in Brooklyn, great material, but like we don't live that life. We don't even know people like that.
Well, even like Fresh Prince, it's like it's a judge. It's fucking they're living in a mansion and shit. There's a relatable character that's coming from something not that, but yeah, it's like that's all they ever did. There was no living in a trailer, living in some house that looks like shit, and having like just exactly what they did. I mean, she was that, and she was like, she was on SNL and shit. It was just like she got there. But it's like looking at Danny DeVito. You look at that person, you're like, if you didn't know who it was, you'd be like, that person's going to be a movie star. You're like, you fucking stupid. Okay, that's not going to happen. No, Hollywood will not allow that.
Right. There's always an exception, man. But yeah, we all knew some Connors growing up.
Oh yeah, still do. Might be related to some, but it's a good show. I'm not shit talking it, like saying it's a terrible show. I'm just saying in the realm of a top 10 show. It's just for me, taste wise. But I do think that this episode specifically, it's got everything that you want in a good Roseanne. Dan steps up, gets a little tough. Roseanne gets a little sassy. They get to fuck with somebody. The whole family's in on it, you know?
Yeah.
They're all, and it's one of the few episodes I remember where, or I've seen, where the Connors are full unit. They're not infighting. Everyone's cool, and they're just like, "Fuck this guy. This guy's a douche."
They're they're all in unison, man. Nobody wins when the family feuds.
Yeah, nice, nice. I like that. We get all up in this episode, Steve, and Roseanne's getting ready for work. And she's got like 1,000 things to do on a list, Steve. She's going through it. Dan's not giving a goddamn. He's got other shit to fry. He doesn't give a shit.
And
But
then, Dan, I'm gonna have a bikini wax. So what did I just say? Something about turtle waxing your bikini?
God damn. God, she sounds a lot like Nick Nolte when you think about it. She hates her job. She's recently found herself unemployed, got a new gig at a chicken shack, Steve. It's basically KFC in the hood or whatever. It's like Church's Chicken. Kinda.
Pretty much. Yeah. And she works for a little maggot. And Dan suggests, why don't you get another job? Oh yeah, Dan. Which one? They're all taken. Margaret, she's running England. Vanna's spinning the letters. So, I mean, what else do I do, Dan?
And she's like, dude, just cook. Okay. I got to go to the staff meeting. You got to do dinner. He's like, I don't know how to fucking cook. She's like, look, this is how it works. And this is a great introductory class into cooking. You take stuff out of the cold box and you put it into the hot box, the oven, Steve. Two steps. You can't fuck it up. She's got to get to this company meeting, which I love, Steve. This is another thing I hate about working company meetings. Bullshit. We all hate them, but sometimes you got to go. She's here, and you're thinking Roseanne's probably got some old crotchety boss or something. No, Steve. It's a pimply faced teenager. It's a slap in the fucking face.
Still in high school. And he's telling them about their appearance. And you need to start coming in with iron shirts, iron pants. Get your mom to do it if you need to. And Roseanne chimes in, what if your mom has really bad rheumatoid arthritis? I don't care who irons it, just iron it.
Yeah. Be clean. People are waiting 5 to 6 minutes for their food. Can't exactly call it fast food, can we, ladies? He's trying to be big dick these people. I couldn't handle this, Steve. This is hard.
And we find out that Roseanne's scheduled to work Saturday, but per their previous agreement, she's not supposed to work on weekends.
He says, I'm sorry. I gotta have somebody there that's fast. Gives her kind of an up here where he's like, you're one of the fastest employees we got, so I gotta have you on Saturday. She's like, I can't. I gotta fucking work.
Like, that negative attitude is going to get you nowhere. And she was like, this is nowhere. And then he basically tells her, like, you're paid to follow my orders. And then they leave it at that. They come back to Roseanne's house and they're testing out Avon products. One of her homegirls is an Avon sales lady. And they suggest that Roseanne butter Brian up, treat him a little better. And even when Dan comes in, he mimics those same thoughts. Like, hey, you don't have to suck up to him. Just, make them feel important and keep your personal opinions to yourself. So treat him like my husband.
Yeah. And her stepmom's like, also is like, you're one of the most manipulative people I know. She's like, you're a sinister fucking villain. You got this, So I'd quit, Steve, but it might be more fun and juicy and petty just to fuck with this guy for a little bit. But her family's like, come on, make him think you like him, make him feel good, and then fucking get what you want, a little honey.
Play the game. And they keep calling him Little Maggot. I guess that's his alias around the house, around the Connor household. And a side note, that there's a coworker of Roseanne's who's just like a true suck up. He's over there taking notes.
Oh, what's that, Ryan? What temperature? Sure, boss. She also has she has like a buddy that's also kind of like she talks to and stuff. It's not complete misery, but that guy's name's Andrew. He's a douche. We've all had that too. I mean, we've all worked in a place where it's like, Jesus Christ, dude, have a little bit of dignity. But this This is high level chickening, Steve. You never know what you're gonna get.
We cut back to the chicken shack, and that same guy, Andrew, he's just kissing ass. That Mustang, that's a nice one, man. Like, hey, my dad runs a car wash, and if you tell him I'm your friend, then you can get a free car wash. Well, do they air dry it or they use towel? Man, whatever you want, man. Just tell him you're my friend.
I'm not your friend. Then that guy
Right.
just fucking kills himself. But then we cut to later, Steve. Andrew is all calm and cool and collected out front. But Roseanne walks into his little back office and he's like fucking around with this little thing. And he's all verklempt, Steve. He's all worked up. He can't put a carburetor together. And if he doesn't, he's going to flunk shop, Steve.
And if he flunks shop, he loses his job. And if he loses his job, he loses his car. Without his car, he's nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Do you know how many fucking backstage Bettys he gets with that Stang, Steve?
He wasn't getting them with the Stang. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
you're right. Yeah, I mean he is a twat. Roseanne's like, you know what? I know a guy could put a little carburetor together, lickety split, help you out with that, and maybe you come over for dinner because that guy's my husband. And dude's down, but this is a recipe for disaster, Steve. We all know it. We know what Roseanne's all about. It's not going to work out the way you think.
I mean, she had well intentions. She thought everything was going to go fine. He would show some gratitude to getting his carburetor fixed, and she'll get that Saturday off. But she announces that Brian Kamen is coming to visit, and Becky, she's like, "Goofy, doofy ass Brian Kamen." No, my manager, Brian Kamen. Oh shit.
You mean
So
ate a
right around,
piece of dookie, Brian Cayman? Dookie
yeah,
mouth? So he's being called maggot. Fucking the kids hate him. Brian, this is his only thing, Steve. This power trip he has, it's all he's got. That and that sweet, beautiful Stang that he's got, that's
yeah.
it.
Right after that, Jackie comes in and she was like, "Wait, your boss, the little maggot, he's coming over? Hold up, Roseanne. I got to stick around for this." And Roseanne, she's just trying to get her out of there. Like, you're going to report to work, Jackie.
Yeah, go bust another DUI, Jackie. But she's like, I guess you can stay. Brian, the fucking flying Brian's coming over, and we're having his most favorite meal of all. And Jackie's like, "What's that?" And it's just some wieners, Steve.
Wieners.
Just some boiled ass fucking hot dogs, Steve. Hot dog water and all.
Can't go wrong with that, man.
I haven't had that in a
American
long time,
pastime
but you're
snack.
right. You're right, dude.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look pleasant. Jackie's trying to be petty here, Steve. I wouldn't appreciate that. I'll be like, I'm trying to get this fucking weekend off, bitch. Don't fuck this up.
It's ridiculous to go through these links just to get a Saturday off, anyways. But Dan, he's aware of the plan and he's not really a fan of it, man. He's just like, dude, he better bring his own tools. This is gonna be in and out.
Yeah. I had to buy this bullshit ass root beer because this kid can't fucking drink, and I gotta eat these fucking stale ass wieners that we had in the fridge. Shits are like 8 months old. But it's just putting a carburetor together. And for Dan Connor, that's just a walk in the park, Steve. He doesn't give a fuck about that. That's easy work. So whatever's clever. He's trying to help his boo out. So Brian gets there and, he goes to the same school as the kids. I mean, he doesn't really seem to know them. There's some confusion here, Steve.
He sees Becky first and he's like, "You look familiar. You go to Lanford, right?" "Yeah." "Fifth period lunch, right?" "Yeah." And then before that goes further, Dan chimes in. He's like, "Hey, Dan Connor, nice to meet you. Hey, man, meet me in the garage."
Because we got some weenies on the fucking stove. So let's get it. I need to get this weenie out of my house. So they go into the garage, and this is Dan Connors. So this would be terrifying because I'm like, is this guy gonna fucking shoot my ass? He's not
He's
coming
a big,
off friendly, dude. He was like, let's go.
yeah, he's very demanding. Yeah, so they get in the garage and he just comes straight with them, man. Like, let's talk man to man here. I don't want to be a shop teacher, and you sure as hell don't want to be a shop student. So what I'm going to do is just put this together for you. You take the credit, and yeah, everything cool.
Yes. That's a dream come true for a fucking scammer, dude. I'd be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I don't have to have this bullshit ass dinner with this fucking family? Hell yeah.
I wanna talk to you about my wife. Wait, sir, I've never came on to your wife. And he's
That's
just
what it
like,
was.
Okay, good, good. But what I want to tell you is that, man, my wife cannot work on weekends. Well, I need her. She's the best worker I have. I need her on Saturday. Well, her
Yeah.
job needs her here home too on Saturday.
This
And I
dick
think
needs
they
to get
kind
sucked on Saturday
that part.
morning.
And I think they just leave it at that. Before they leave the garage, Brian does agree with them. He's like, hey, schedules can be changed. So they cut back to Brian, I think later in the evening. He's sitting there talking to the Connors, Roseanne and Dan, and he's just glossing over himself about this stinger. It's like, when I first saw this stinger, man, it was love at first sight. And Roseanne has a little aside to Dan, like, oh, so I guess that's what real love is like.
How much is he getting paid at this fucking chicken job, Steve? I know he's a manager, but to buy a fucking car, I mean, god damn, Brian.
I mean, according to him, all the women are crazy for it too. But that's when Becky comes up and she just got this look like, girls don't like you.
What car? They don't even see that. They don't even know he has that Stang, Steve. They thought that was a cooler kid, you know?
Right. Even in it, like, you're still a goober. But Roseanne, she wants to have a talk with Brian this time. And they go in the kitchen and she's like, I wanted to invite you so that you can see the importance of my family, how important they are to me, and getting the weekend off, how important that is to me. And he was like, well, all right, so you can't work weekends. You can't work Saturday. So I guess there it is. You can pick up your last check. And
God
then
damn.
that's when Dan comes in and he takes it to another level. Like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Like, I put together your carburetor and like you playing around in my face in front of my family, dude. This the thanks we get. I had to do your homework for you, and now you fire my wife. He gets really in his face, man. The kids are there. They're like kind of rooting for their dad. Like, no, beat his ass.
That would be cool, honestly, if he just did. Just a family whoop like beat down. But that's crazy, dude. I mean, especially for the shitty job this is. I mean, this is crazy power trip this kid's on. Like, especially now, I'd be like, well, yeah, well, of course you can have the weekend off. Some giant ass dude threatened to whoop your ass.
Yeah, but this scene is why, like, I wanted to cover, man, because like this Dan, like, I don't think you ever really see this in a sitcom dad where they, Heathcliff Huxtable, he might get a little perturbed if Theo cheated on his test or something, but take it to this level, like with Al
Yeah.
Bundy, like it was comical with Al Bundy, but like he was serious.
Yeah, I mean, Dan actually, it looks like it's like he's gonna throw an ass whooping on somebody. I mean, with Carl Winslow just like kind of cool dicked it, in the episode we watched with fucking
OGD.
OGD. Yeah, there was no like physicality to it, but hell yeah, dude. And this version of John Goodman, like this is a legit, like I'd be fucking freaked out if this guy hulked up on you like this.
Hell yeah, and I love, like, because there's a bit of reality with the comedy. I mean, obviously it's a situational comedy, man, but the realism, and like in 1990, this was like fresh to us, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. And the episodes where Dan gets intense are the best episodes. I think if you look
Yeah,
at all the top ones, this is probably something that happens in all of them. Um, but now, I mean, what do you do? She's out of job. Dan almost whooped this kid's ass in front of the family. And Brian's like, you know what? You're a good employee, but your attitude sucks. You should leave at this point. Just get out of the
yeah.
house before you lose your life, kid.
Like, we spared you, man, and you still talking shit. But on his way out, Dan's like, you know what? You don't want to leave your carburetor, and it's just taken apart. And then I think Becky, she gives him the coil springs, and then Darlene follows that up with your secondary, whatever the hell that means. I don't do cars.
What is a
Roseanne,
carburetor, Steve? What the fuck is that?
shit, let's call Dan Connor.
Hell yeah, dude. But you know what? Fuck it. You don't want to give away your dignity to work at KFC. That's a lesson to anybody. If you got a fucking job like this and a boss like that, leave. You don't need to be there. So at least she didn't have to go to work. she knows like it's over now. Just get that last check and you're good, Roseanne. So later, Dan, Roseanne, they're killing a bottle because that's what you do after you get fired. They're on the couch, just chilling.
Been there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Roseanne's like, this is a new low. I got fired by Opie. That's just fucked up. And that's really what happened, Steve. You know what happened after this episode, Steve? He lost that car. He tried to race pink slips, lost it, and then it's over. It's like Samson with the hairs, Steve. As soon as he lost that sweet stang, all any chance of getting some pussy, it's gone. He's
He
the
never
mop boy at the chicken shack.
at
Smoking the
Clucky's.
pipe. Yep, smoking a pipe. Sucking dick for meth money, Steve. That's how it all. We've seen it 1,000 times.
Hard times, man. Classic episode of Roseanne. I even like the subtle theme song. It hasn't gone fully hardcore yet with the theme song. It's just really just it's at a even tempo, even volume.
This is it. I just think that it's funny that the most memorable part. I mean, it's a memorable theme song in general, but just her laugh in the intro is like one of the most like iconic 90s noises that you can think of. If you were there, you would know that instantly.
Oh yeah. It always makes me think of like a southern like stripper song. I don't know.
Oh wow. That'd be
Dun,
if you're in a
dun,
if you're in a strip club and they're playing a Roseanne theme song, Steve.
It has that
Oh,
kind of twang to it. I
ew,
feel
dude.
like
Dude, there were some people just
uh,
railing to that theme song in the 90s, though, just getting fucking crazy with it, slapping it to fucking that song. So it happened. I love that.
hey man, it's the vibes.